Hello, welcome to the Monday, August the 8th, 10:30 briefing for the Archaeological project here at the Alamo. My name is Christy Miller-Nichols and I work for Robert Kistner Environmental. Today, pretty much what we're doing is trying to expand our units. We're heading to the west from where we were before to try to chase out an architectural feature. We're also exposing more of another architectural feature in a unit that we had briefly seen it before. We're just going to try to expose some more of it at this point. I have 3 other archaeologists working today, and we are busy trying to get some of the feature exposed so we can gather whether or not we're in the right place, still trying to really confirm if this is portion of the southern wall near the Alamo South Gate. I think at this point still the deepest that we are at is about 90 centimeters below the surface, which is about 3 feet. Artifacts wise, we're still really not getting too much of anything. A few pieces of bone, animal bone, a few pieces of glass, which are modern, a little bit of rusted metal, but most of the stuff that we're coming down upon is the stones that are in place with the caliche slurry that seems to be holding them together. And one of the features that we also have a late 19th century, possibly early 20th century intrusion. So that's one of the reasons why we need to do some more work to see whether or not it's affected a Spanish colonial portion or architectural feature, and that's why we're doing more work at this point. So,
could you explain what you mean by an intrusion?
It actually cuts through a pile of stones that we're trying to determine whether or not they have been placed there purposely to be a portion of a foundation, and so it cuts through right down the center of an area.
Some kind of construction or excavation?
It was most likely a construction from a later period, so more modern to our time period at this point.
So you don't think this was a previous archaeological project?
No, not a previous archaeological project. Definitely some sort of construction thing in nature.
So how has that affected your ability to understand what you have there?
It's just one of those things that we have to interpret. It hasn't quite prohibited us from interpreting things, but it's just one of those things that any site that we come to, we have to figure out that lots of people have been here before, and there's going to be lots of different things that happen. So this is just one of them.
What do people see when they walk past here? Because I noticed that you've got a rectangular lower depression from one of the digs. Are those the stones at the bottom?
When people walk by here, what do they see is the question, and yes, we are exposing those stones. Those stones are held in place by the caliche slurry. And at this point, when people ask, we don't know exactly for sure what to call it yet, so we're just calling it the architectural feature. It seems to be reminiscent of Spanish colonial architecture. If it is something and we are able to confirm it later, we'll probably announce that as soon as possible, but we need to do the more, getting around it, digging further to expose more of it, to be confident in what we're seeing.
I'm sorry.
What is caliche slurry?
A caliche slurry is so a mixture of natural caliches, some lime, and they mixed it with water. And when it hardens, it kind of turns into like a clay type, almost concrete like. I guess in this case it's an intrusion there, so it's in a trench like I guess linear form at this point.
And that's what the Spanish used to construct their walls?
Yes, the caliche slurry, they would have used that to kind of help mortar together foundation stones. We have seen similar types of construction methods at other missions, and sometimes it's very easy to cut through those. Other times it's a little tougher, and this is one of the cases we're seeing here, is that these stones are held together by the caliche slurry, and it seems a little bit more intact than some of the other features I've seen at other missions.
So it's obviously a construction feature?
Yes, it's not natural.
Okay.
Yes.
Now you mentioned you had 2 features. Are they both segments of the same area, or is there something else?
They're both in the same area. We're really not that far. If you imagine, we've gone 4 meters north and south, and we're now 4 meters east and west. So it's not a very large area that we're excavating, but we are getting a lot of information coming out of it with regards to architectural features.
Now, Nesta had indicated that this might be the gate. Are you any closer to determining that?
We are doing the research right now back in the office, as well as trying to interpret what we're seeing out here. There's several different maps to look at. There's lots of different interpretations as to where the south gate is. Plus, I had mentioned on Friday that the walls are fluid here. Things change from time to time, and so we may be in the area of the south gate. If we are, we're just going to have to figure out if we're a little bit to the west of it or if we're right on dead center. So, but there is, if you look at some of the old maps, you note that this was one time has a gate at one point, and another point it's a full-on wall. So,
Christy, we know that they found probably 300 or 400 artifacts over on the west wall site, but you're not finding many here. Can you give us any explanation of why that would happen?
the question is, why are we not finding as many artifacts in this area as in the area that had the adobe bricks? And mainly it's because we have not come down on a actual living surface yet, so we don't have trash that people had discarded and things like that. What we're hitting more are the architectural features, and it seems that the soil that was put around the architectural features appears to be sterile at this point. Also, if we're coming down on top of a feature like that, you probably wouldn't have a whole lot of artifacts in association with it anyways, just because you would be living on the outsides of the wall rather than on top of the foundation. Are there any other questions?
So this could potentially be your last week out here.
That I'm not sure about, but yeah, I've heard rumors. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but we will keep you guys up to date as how much longer we're going to be digging.
Thank you.
Thank you.